Yo, 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 Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Listen, man, it's been two significant and like monumental things that have happened in the National Football League or the AFL and the NFL before the merger and stuff like that. It's been two good events that helped shape the landscape of the NFL. You know what I mean? First would be the merger in 1970. Then would be the implementation of the salary cap. Those things played a major part in how things were done and how teams found their way to the great game, the Super Bowl, is which we calling it now today. Listen, man, I want to talk about the history of this game we call the Super Bowl. I want to talk about how it originated, because some things just ain't sitting right with me, man. And as always, make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments about this situation. Just let me know. Listen, man. Before it was called the Super Bowl, it was the AFL and the NFL World Championships. Now, I had to do my research on this because it's not a lot of the quote-unquote OGs who make these videos who talk about this type of stuff. All they really can talk about and tell us about is what their teams did in the past if they're not relevant, or what their team's doing right now if they're relevant. They don't want to go back into this because I think this is really important, man. I really do. It's a man by the name of Lamar Hunt. Now, Lamar Hunt, what does Lamar Hunt do? A lot of people don't know about Lamar Hunt. Lamar Hunt is one of the first owners, or the first owner, I'm not sure, of the Kansas City Chiefs. Actually owned quite a bit of franchises. Lamar Hunt was famously known for coining the phrase Super Bowl well before the merger. Well before the merger. You know what I mean? Was famously known for coining it the Super Bowl. Saw some kids playing with a ball. The name of the ball was the Super Bowl. And then he starts saying, hey, my team's going to the Super Bowl. Now, you know, college has been calling their big games bowls and stuff like that. So it kind of fit and it kind of stuck in that regard. So, you know, Lamar Hunt was a pioneer in the regards of just getting the name right and stuff like that. Now, Green Bay won the first two Super Bowls. The first two Super Bowls. What was that, 67 and 68? Green Bay won the first two Super Bowls. Now listen, did you know that in 67 and 68, they were still called the AFL and the NFL World Championships? Did you know that? I didn't know that. Did you know the Super Bowl name, the moniker of the Super Bowl, wasn't adopted until that third team won the Super Bowl? Do you understand that? Until that third game in 1969, that's when they start calling. That's when it was solidified as the Super Bowl. Super Bowl III was actually when it was marketed as being called a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So that means that they had to retroactively, you know, go back at some point in time and say, well, these two games were the first two Super Bowls. Why do you think that is? Green Bay was a really popular team back then. Green Bay, in fact, is the first team to win 3 world titles or Super Bowls, or whatever you would like to call them, 3 world titles in a row. They were that team. They won the championship 3 straight times, 66, 67, and 68 to be exact. The closest thing we ever seen to a dynasty was 66, 67, and 68 when the Green Bay Packers won 3 world titles in a row. They were only world titles, though. But why do we get to go back and call them Super Bowls for them? So really, what does that mean to me? That means that the Green Bay Packers don't have as many Super Bowls as we think, if you want to be fair. I mean, the merger didn't happen until the 70s. We didn't start calling these things the Super Bowl until 69. So why is 67 and 68 counted as Super Bowls? You know what I mean? So if we're going to count those as Super Bowls, should we go back and count all world titles as Super Bowls? Listen, in my opinion, and this is me not being an Eagles fan. This is me just not being an Eagles fan. This is just real facts. I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles have 4 world titles. I feel like we got 4 world titles, period. I feel like we were world champions 4 times. That's a fact. We got 4 world titles. Now, who does it really suit? Who does it suit to say that world titles don't matter and only championships matter? Now, and only Super Bowls matter. Now, as Eagles fans, we got sucked into that. We wanted this Super Bowl so bad. Super Bowl 52, we feel like it set us free from something. But really, it didn't set us free. Really, what it did was help us play into the hands of the guys who want to tell us that world championships don't matter. And who are those guys? Guys that don't got them. Guys that don't got them. Guys that weren't around. Listen, if world championships didn't matter, then your owners wouldn't have sparked the interest back then when whatever made you guys expansion teams. Your owners wouldn't have wanted to get into this thing if world championships didn't matter. Your owners wouldn't have wanted to be a part of this thing if it didn't matter. They matter. Winning it all matters because it's all revenue. The team that wins it all gets revenue. We all know how this thing works at the end of the day. But I say that to say this. Who are the guys who want to tell us that they don't matter? Do the San Francisco 49ers got any world titles? They just got Super Bowls, to my knowledge. Do the Pittsburgh Steelers got any world titles? No, they just got Super Bowls, to my knowledge. Even though Terry Bradshaw and those guys, if memory serves me correct, they came in on the cusp of the end of the world title games, of the end of the AFL, NFL championship. They came in on the cusp, but they only got Super Bowls, to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Dallas Cowboys don't have any world titles, nor do the New England Patriots. So, of course, if you're in this modern era, of course, those are the guys that are going to tell you that nothing matters. Because listen, this is how it balances out. If we all shifted up to say that, hey, they're all world titles, don't matter when it happened, a world title is a world title, the same way they like to tell us about these really old Super Bowls that, hey, it's a Super Bowl. So how about we change the name of the Super Bowl next year? How about we change the name of it next year? Do the Super Bowls not matter anymore? Are they not world titles? Listen, you got to think about it like this. If they say it all counts, nobody is going to be able to touch the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. They'll be past 10 world titles, I think, or something like that. Both of those franchises. You know what I mean? But it doesn't do anything for the revenue and for the monetary gain of today's NFL. Now, if you say they count, we're only one behind. We're only one behind. If you say they count, the Washington Redskins might have the most world titles, period, in a division. Or the New York Giants, I think they might be tied or something like that. This is a few teams who've won in both eras. The Bears, the Packers, the Redskins, the Eagles, and the Giants. The Redskins, Eagles, and the Giants all have won in both eras. So if you count the Redskins, Eagles, and the Giants world titles along with the Super Bowls that they already have, it's looking mighty, mighty close in the NFC East. But these are the guys who want to tell you that they don't count. The guys who don't have them. Now, I got to give credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I got to give credit to the San Francisco 49ers because they both showed success after the salary cap, though. And the New England Patriots, they both showed success. Those three teams showed that they can maneuver in the new age of football to where you got to be smart with your money. You got to do this and that and the third. Now, the San Francisco 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl to my knowledge. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I always say that. The San Francisco 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl since the implementation of the salary cap, but the San Francisco 49ers have been to Super Bowls, a la Colin Kaepernick. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers have won multiple Super Bowls after the implementation of the salary cap. Who hasn't done that? Who hasn't done that? Now, the merger didn't really defeat a lot of teams because, well, the merger kind of defeated some teams because you got some teams who haven't won since the merger, and you got some teams that have won in both eras. But the salary cap has only proven to really, really, really beat down one champion. And these are some of the guys who want to tell us that championships don't matter because they don't got them. We four-time world champions. We four-time world champions. Three-time world champions, one-time Super Bowl champion. No matter how you cut that pie, there is a banner and there's a ring for those achievements. Now, I didn't even feel proud about it until I won the Super Bowl, to be honest. I wouldn't sit here and get on this camera and say we got world titles before we got a Super Bowl. I'm just realizing now that those things matter as well. And there's only a few people trying to erase it and say you only got one. Well, I've been to the link. I saw the rafters. I saw the 1949 rings. I saw those rings. Concrete Charlie and them boys, Tommy McDonald. I saw those rings. It's not a figment of my imagination. Now, if our world titles don't count, somebody please explain to me why the first two Super Bowls count by the Green Bay Packers when they weren't even called Super Bowls. What gives them the right to go back and retroactively say these are Super Bowls as well? Just some thoughts, man. Let me know what y'all guys think in the comments, man.